This is the Friday Night Fever Afterburn, sponsored by Peden Heating and Air Conditioning.
Welcome to Friday Night Fever Afterburn. Week 5 of the high school football season is in the books. We are here for the very first time as a duo. Myself, of course, Sam Granville, and Karli Koskovich. She joined on last week, introduced herself on Kaylee's last week, and now we are the new sports team here at WMBB and News 13. Karli, how was your first Friday Night Fever?
It was really fun, actually. I had to drive all the way out to Bluntstown. That was awesome. But it was fun. It was a good game, actually, Bluntstown and Taylor County. So, I don't know. I'm excited to talk about it.
We'll get to those scores in just a second. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. I'll take the first list. You'll take the second list. We'll go back and forth. So, again, like she mentioned, Taylor County and Bluntstown. That was our fan-voted Friday Night Fever game of the week. We put that one to a poll this week. Bluntstown fans said, hey, come to Bowles Field. We went to Bowles Field. It was a close battle, 6-7. We'll get into the highlights in just a minute, but it was 6-7 at the half, and then Taylor County pulled away big. 27-6 is the final. I went to the Mosley-Escambia game, homecoming for the Dolphins. They go into the half up 31-7, and they win 38-13. Arnold and Rutherford, that was one that was on our list, for Friday Night Fever game of the week. That was a great matchup. Goes down to the wire. Arnold winning by 3, 29-26. And then Port St. Joe taking the field for the very first time in the last couple of weeks since, of course, their star football player, Chance Gaynor, died a couple weeks back. They get the win for Chance. Again, we'll get into those highlights in a second, but 21-12 Port St. Joe. Take this list, Karli.
Yeah, so Bozeman and Sneads. Oh, Bozeman took the lead on that one, 43-20, and then Bay and Madison County. Sorry, I'm still learning all of these teams, but Madison County 42-14, and then Franklin County against Rocky Bayou taking the lead won. Franklin County 25-13, and then Vernon and Freeport took that lead 32-8.
Bear with us, we have a lot of scores tonight, but we're going to check in on the next one. Florida High, they are a phenomenal ball club over there in Tallahassee. They win 55-13 over South Walton. Holmes County back on their home field tonight. They win a one-score game, beating Northview 34-27. Mariana still undefeated this season. They're now 5-0. W.S. Neal, they look like they can put up some points, 49-36 Mariana. And then Cottondale, they've been averaging about 40-50 points a game so far. They put up 54 tonight, 54-28. You got this one again?
All right, so we have Miller County Pirates and Liberty County. Wow. Miller County 42-0. Oof, I'm sorry. Jefferson County 18 to Weewahitchka 16. That seems close. Then North Bay Haven 20. Baker took the win on that one, 42-20, and then Chipley and Jay. That was
night game.
Oh yeah. That was. They were both undefeated, right?
Right, they were both undefeated going to that one.
Okay,
not just Jay's undefeated.
Not just Jay's undefeated.
Right.
Sorry, Chipley.
23-13 Jay in that game last night. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start with our game of the week. Again, didn't turn out to be the best game, but neither did Mosley. That one was also up for game of the week vote. We're gonna go ahead and hop right in. Just tell me, what was your first Friday night experience like? I know you shot a game last week, but this was your game for your show. Tell me about just the experience going live at Bowles Field. How'd you feel out there watching the Tigers?
I wish you would have let me stay longer, if I'm going to be honest, because it was really close at halftime, 7-6. Taylor County was winning, but I was really walking to the parking lot thinking, okay, someone's about to score, but no one scored until the second half, and then Taylor County ran away with it. But it was a good game. I really loved the small town and how everybody was out there. It was new. I've never really experienced something like that, and I just thought it was super fun. And yeah, they were really good, actually. It was pretty even, I feel like.
Right. And, just for background, Karli is from the Phoenix area. So definitely a different high school football scene from rural Panhandle, Florida. She's like, man, all the way to Bluntstown. Yeah, wait till you have to drive to Franklin County or to Funiac Springs or any of those even further schools. So still learning the area. But yeah, Bluntstown, they've gone to the Final Four in back-to-back seasons. They're the only team around here that's gone to the Final Four in back-to-back seasons. We talked about it earlier. They graduated a ton of seniors. We sent one went to Texas A&M, one went to South Florida, one went to Miami. They got so many players that graduated this past year. They're so young. You notice, Sion Smith, man, he's a young kid that can play. Kyan Martin, another kid that can play ball. Tristan King leading the offense. But this is a very young team, and for them to compete with a school like Taylor County, to keep it, 7-6 at the half, that just shows me, okay, Coach Brad Wagner, he's got them going in the right direction. These kids, he said the other day, on Wednesday, I talked to Coach Wagner, and he said, yeah, we're 2-0 right now. We look pretty solid. We're going to take some lumps this year. Good luck playing us in a couple years from now. So, when those guys like Sion Smith, Kay, and Martin, when they start getting older and they're the upperclassmen, watch out for those Bluntstown
Honestly,
Tigers.
I was really impressed with Tristan King. I was like, okay, so he's punting, he's kicking, and he's a quarterback. I thought it was pretty impressive. So
And a baseball player, very good baseball player.
The more you know. Wow.
Wait, these guys play on both sides of the ball? I'm like, yeah, a lot of these schools around here play on both sides of the ball. But again, Taylor County, they beat a Wacola team. That was a Class 2 or 3A team that went to the region finals last year. So Taylor County is a very, very good team this season. So again, the score might not show that, rural Bluntstown hung around very well at the end. But man, if you're the Bluntstown Tigers, you gotta you can't really hang your hat on that one too much. It was definitely a tough way to end up losing in the second half, but still, you're 2-1 right now. You're in a good position moving forward. I'm gonna check in on the comments. We haven't really looked down here yet. I see some Hornets faithful down there. Cottondale staying unbeaten. So I think at this point we're down to 4 teams. The Hornets, they are one of them. Mosley is another. Bluntstown was one, so I guess that leaves Franklin County and Mariana. So Mariana, Mosley, Franklin County, and who else did I just say? Yeah, Cottondale. So those are our 4 teams unbeaten after tonight. We got Madison County beating up on Bay High. Yeah, I can tell you, Madison County is a rural team, but they would beat most larger schools around the area. I saw when Bozeman went to the Final Four last year, they played Madison County. I went to Boot Hill in Madison. Those guys put up like 66 points against an incredible Bozeman team last year. So Madison County always has some fantastic athletes and players. They go ahead and get a big win over Bay tonight.
Writing that down.
Yeah, you take those notes. I see. Proud of you, Big Blue. There's a lot of Big Blues, but I know I'm gonna assume that's Holmes County. A lot of Big Blue. Correct me if I'm wrong in assuming that your Big Blue is Holmes County.
I have a request to be sent to Niceville.
Niceville.
Where?
That could be interesting. Where is Niceville? Niceville, way to the west.
Okay.
I say way. It's about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So manageable. And we will. I can't remember. Is Mosley and Niceville? Is that going to be in here, or is that going to be at Niceville? I think that's in a couple of weeks. That would be the only game, and that's at Mosley. So, sorry, we're not going to be going to Niceville this season. It is you'll have to look it up. You'll have to look it up on YouTube. It is probably one of the best high school football atmospheres in the country. I hate it. We're probably not going there. It's a little out of our coverage distance. But when they come to Mosley, when they come there this year, we're definitely going to be there. I'm sure that'll probably be a big pull for our game of the week. Their student section is unlike any other. Again, hate that we don't cover them, but Niceville, they got it going over there. Come to East Point. Coach Cooper and the guys, we'll get to them in a minute. They are 5-0. 2-0 was their best start in recent history. Then they went to 3-0, now 4-0, 5-0. They're making history over there in East Point with Franklin County and those Seahawks. Tigers are tough, never want to give up. That's a Bluntstown super fan, Laura Pope, and Franklin County Seahawks. So we got some more Mosley down there. Keep us commenting. We're going to go ahead and get into that Mosley game in a second, but keep telling us about your favorite scores of the night, your favorite teams, who impressed you the most. But let's go ahead and roll those Mosley highlights and get into that. So again, homecoming for Mosley. It was a packed crowd. And like I said in Friday Night Fever, if you missed the show, it was the Fletcher Taylor show. This is a sophomore tight end. For all you Mosley fans that remember Randy Pittman, he's now a tight end at UCF. He was a freshman all Big 12 team his freshman year. He reminds me, Fletcher Taylor reminds me of Randy Pittman. He scored the first touchdown. He got the 2-point conversion. Escambia did get a great play here. This was definitely not the coverage that Mosley wanted, but check out this next play. I'm just going to let you know in advance. Escambia has a player on their football team. He'll be committing tomorrow. He's got offers from LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. This is going to be him attempting the tackle on Fletcher Taylor. Yeah, that's a sophomore. Fletcher Taylor bulldozing a 4-star commit that can basically go anywhere he wants. That is a sophomore. Have I said that that's a sophomore yet?
Yeah, but he's got a lot of grit. And I can see why he's got a lot of offers.
And then Lukavion Jackson, we know what he offers. He's the Mississippi State commit. He transferred in this last offseason. This is his first season. Again, just anytime he's got the ball in his hands, there's a good chance that he's going to score. Mosley, so many athletes, so many players. They did have a little bit of trouble with the refs tonight. I don't know if that got worked out. They did not like them flying the drone over the field for whatever reason. They were, running the offense, and they didn't like the drone buzzing above them. And this was what they called a fumble. Sammy Chisholm was just sitting there on top of the pile for about 2 seconds. They never blew the whistle. Refs call it, hey, fumble, Escambia ball. Yeah, Mosley responds by getting a safety on the next play. So clearly this is another one-sided game in Mosley's favor. They've got so many players. This team just excites me more and more every week. They remind me of that 2021 team. I think, in my personal opinion, I think this team is better. It's hard to compare, years and eras. Again, there were some fantastic players on that 2021 team that ended up making a deep run. This team is so good. And
the homecoming kings, we love.
Guys up there. They guys give me a wave, and they're like, why? But yeah, go Mosley. They got a 38-13 victory. Again, your first game that you got to see here was Thursday night last week.
Yeah.
You went and watched Mosley with me. You got to shoot some of that game. How have they just impressed you, and just so many weapons that they have?
Oh my God. I'm just looking at him right now. He could take that team himself. I don't want to say anything bad about Escambia, but he's a unit, and he's going to go far. I don't know what his background or future is going to hold, but just by himself. And then, it's just strength. It's just like he keeps going. And that's like what I saw last week. And I just honestly, I feel like I saw that exact play when we were shooting Mosley last week. It was just run straight. There was, what'd you say, just grass and then the end zone?
Yeah, nothing between him and grass. Like I said, there's so many athletes. We know the Raiden Bruins. We know he's going to Rutgers. We know Lukavion Jackson going to Mississippi State. But then there's so many more. Carson Griffin, Adam Land. There's so many guys that can score the ball. Sammy Chisholm, he stepped up in recent weeks. And the defense, they're bend, not break, that offensive line. Spoiler alert, we're going to have our Scholar Athlete of the Week on Sunday. That is going to be Logan McAllister, so stay tuned for Karli on News 13 this weekend. The offensive line is phenomenal for Mosley this year. And I see, my son was on the 2021 team, and I agree, this team is better than the 2021 team. That's a bold claim. They went very far, and they were very good, but I would have to say this is a more complete, more depth. They've got so many weapons from, the upperclassmen to the underclassmen making plays each week. I want to, you hate to say it as a Mosley fan when you're, playing the other schools, but I want to see them challenged this year. I don't know if that's going to come until Niceville. I don't know what Milton's going to look like next week. I know they always take their bye before Niceville. Coach Whitten, he likes to strategically plan, give himself a bye week ahead of facing Niceville. That's the big rivalry.
Really?
We're learning over here.
Okay,
rivalry
gotcha.
and Mosley is a huge rivalry. We'll get to that one in a couple weeks, but I'd love to see Mosley challenged this year. They can clearly score points. They can clearly win, but can they win tight games? We'll see.
Let's have Niceville bring a charter bus of all of their student section.
They probably will.
Really?
They'll probably bring a lot of folks over here, and their band, again, look it up on YouTube. I'm hyping up Niceville. We don't even cover them, but go Eagles.
Taylor County actually did that. I was surprised. It was parents.
Okay.
They all got on a charter bus and came to the field.
That's one way to do it.
How far is that from?
Taylor County, that's past that's past Tallahassee, so it's a little haul. Not as far as Bluntstown to Panama City, but it's a little haul. Let's go ahead. We're already slowing things down. Let's go ahead and get to the Arnold and Rutherford game. Again, like I keep mentioning, week after week after week, Rutherford is probably the best winless team in the area, and they battle every week. And I know that when you're losing each week in these close games, you hate to see it. Again, I don't know if you guys are seeing the delay on the video that we are. I hope that you can hear us, but Rutherford, they lose another close one, and they went into the half with a lead, just like they went into a half with the lead against Holmes County, just like they went into the half with a lead against Bluntstown. This is a team that competes, and then in the second half, it's heartbreak. But you got to give it to the Arnold Marlins. Again, we're still learning the area. Arnold last season, 0-9. They got outscored by opponents, I think we said 476-12 last year.
Oh.
Arnold 0-9, 476-12. They're now 4-1. 4-1. Coach Griffin and that crew are now 4-1, starting off the season with just that first loss against South Walton last week.
They came for revenge.
Yeah, and last year's coach at Bozeman, Jason Griffin, he's now at Arnold. He's got that program completely revitalized, turned around. You got to give it to the Marlins. You know, they're not only are they able to compete in games, they're winning games, they're winning close games. They've won multiple close games this year. Is everybody seeing what I'm seeing, Spencer? Are we slowing down? Oh, well, I hope that you can see the highlights. It is coming in and out. But again, congratulations to those Marlins. I hate it for Coach Floyd. He keeps telling me at Rutherford, he's like, man, Sam, everybody keeps telling me I'm proud of you guys. You're battling in there next week. The program looks like they're headed in the right direction. He's like, but I just want to win. And I was like, I get it, Coach. I'm the same way. I hate losing, and this is another very, very tough battle for Rutherford. Have you seen either of these teams yet in person?
I went to Arnold volleyball.
Okay.
So that's my.
She's been on campus, ladies and gentlemen. She's been
looking forward to seeing this
campus.
team. So.
Well, yeah, another big win for Arnold. And before we head to the next game, take another peek at the comments. Matthew Nichols is saying that Taylor County is from Perry, so that's going to be over near I-10, and we're kind of closer to where I-10 and 75 meet. Geography.
Yep,
Not
doesn't
great
mean
at that.
much to
You're
me
like,
yet.
cool. That sounds great. Hope to see Rutherford pick up a win this year. A lot of great players. Yeah, we saw that game against Bluntstown go to triple overtime. So we're going to go ahead and move to the next game, Port St. Joe and Destin. I hope that you guys are able to be hearing us and seeing us. Again, apologize for any technical difficulties. We're going to keep rolling. We good? We rolling? All right. Gotcha. Okay, we're rolling. This one, again, apologize for any technical difficulties. This game was just special tonight. Port St. Joe playing for the very first time since Chance Gaynor passed away a couple weeks ago. They decided, hey, we want to play for Chance this year. We want to play for him. His mom was like, hey, go play for my son. I want to see you guys out on the field this year. In their first game back, they go on the road and defeat Destin 21-12. There was number twos all over. We had the bows in the cheerleaders' hair. We had number twos all over the field, players pointing up every time they scored. That's a special game over there. Again, we normally don't go all the way to Destin. That's kind of like a Niceville. It's one that's a little out of our range. But I said, I want to be there tonight. Mm-hmm. I want to have somebody there. I want video, in case these guys go and win or lose. But, it was just fun to see them, get that win tonight. Exciting to see them do it for Chance. And that's just special. This is more than football when you see stuff like this.
No, it's personal.
When you see that personal element, when you see everybody wearing those number twos and making Chance proud, because I know that he's looking down and smiling on him and going, hey, I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that. Let's keep going next week after the other. So a big win for St. Joe. They win that 27-12. Again, apologize for any technical video. If you're having any issues watching us, I apologize. We're going to roll into the next one. We're going to try and speed things up a little bit. Are we How we doing, Spencer? We're having just as much fun as you guys are. Okay. We're gonna do our best. Let us know if you can see us. I hope that you
Turn
can see
this
us.
into a podcast.
Still seeing it. Yeah, we can go dark on it and you can just listen to us, but that's not near as fun as watching the big plays and everything. I see from John Brock, Liberty County carried a number 2 PSJ jersey on the field to honor Chance Gaynor. Special moments before the game. And yeah, that's one thing that, we said last week and just continue going forward, just the support of the Panhandle, of the community. You mentioned the small town schools and Bluntstown, everybody just rallying around Port St. Joe over the last couple of weeks. And it's been exciting to watch. We do have the highlights of one more game. We're going to go ahead and get into that one. You have gotten to see Bozeman a little bit this year. Tell me what you thought of Bozeman pulling away in the second half here against Sneads.
I'm honestly happy for Bozeman. Like, I went over there the other day and interviewed the coach and one of their players, and honestly, like, he was saying that his guys were a little bit younger than he's used to, but he's also new, and so I'm rooting. I don't know. I'm rooting for the best for them, and yeah, I'm glad that they were able to pull it through in the second half, because first half, they didn't really know if that was going to happen.
Right. And again, we're learning. We're learning each week. Bozeman, that is the team that now Arnold's coach is at. Last year, he was at Bozeman. They went to the Final Four for the first time in school history. They moved up in classifications this year. So last year, they were in the rural classification. This year, they're in Class 2A. So they're playing against a rural team in Sneads. And clearly some adjustments were made at the half, because to go from being down, 14-6 at the half or something like that, and then going and winning this one 43-20, that's some halftime adjustments. And you've been looking for, we've been scratching the surface with this Bozeman team of, just how good can they be. You got the young quarterback in Hayden Gay throwing to all these weapons all over the field. Bozeman in a similar way is kind of, we'll say a poor man's Mosley, in the sense that they've just got a lot of weapons, a lot of guys that have played a lot of football. We say Colton McClellan, John Boy Hansen, Lakota Johnson. I don't think that he was playing tonight, but he's been fantastic this season. You got all those North Bay Haven transfers coming in this year with Spurlock brothers. So they've got weapons to use this year. We've kind of been waiting to see, okay, can they figure it out? Clearly, the defense figured it out in the second half. I had one of their coaches tell me defense forced 4 turnovers for Bozeman tonight. So you got to be happy about that looking at the score sheet. But, like you said, first-year coach, he's coming in, he's learning these players, he's learning the system, and they had a rough start, losing a game to Arnold. They've had some rough losses to start the year. They needed this one. The sad thing is Sneads also needed this one.
Yeah.
So both these teams kind of really needed a win tonight, and Bozeman was the one to walk away with it, because you really have to have this win when you're in a higher classification like 2A, because you got Mariana, you got Rutherford, both in your district. You've already taken the loss to Mariana, so you really need this one if you're Bozeman, if you want to be competing for the playoffs in a couple weeks.
I can only imagine what he said at halftime to those boys.
Right, and I'm looking down, I'm seeing game of the week was definitely Franklin County, Liberty County, nail-biter on Monday night. Yeah, we did not mention that one. I did have it in the show on Monday night through the NFHS network. So that was a fantastic game. Coach Cooper and the gang in Franklin County pulling off a nail-biter. That one really was a fantastic game. I would have loved to have been there. I was working solo on Monday night. Wasn't able to get all the way over to Bristol, but that was a fantastic game. That's when Franklin County started 4-0, and then with a quick turnaround Monday to Friday, 5-0. So again, Coach Cooper and the gang, congratulations. You're off to a great start. We're going to definitely get back over to East Point later on this season to just wrap up those scores once again. Madison County falling 42-14 to Bay. Franklin County winning 25-13. They're 5-0. Freeport bouncing back from that beatdown that they took against Cottondale last week. They win 32-8. South Walton falling to a very, very good Florida High team. Holmes County 34-27 the victory. Mariana 49-36. Cottondale 54-28. Again, we're going to have to double check that score average for the season. I think it's got to be near 50 right now. Liberty County getting shut out at home. Jefferson County beating Weewa in a very close one. And then North Bay Haven, that of course has been the story over the last couple of days. Interim head coach stepping in. A lot of confusion around the program right now. They, of course, have not won any games this year. We've mentioned over and over this year all those players transferring out in the offseason with the coaching changes. A dozen going to Bozeman, a couple more going to Arnold. So clearly not the season that they anticipated starting in the spring. But 20 points. They had 2 coming into tonight. So this is far and away the best offensive performance. Far and away their best offensive performance. 2 to 20 points. They now have 22 points on the season. We were talking about, can they get past Arnold's 12 points last year? They did that tonight. So congratulations to North Bay Haven. We'll have to continue to follow up and see where that goes. Definitely a messy situation at North Bay Haven right now. And then Chipley taking their first loss, 23-13. That was last night. I see from Coach Old, great football this week. Gotta agree with you. This was a lot of fun. This is one of those weeks where I'm looking at all the matchups and I'm like, I don't know, what are the games to look out for this week? And they really did impress. So I gotta say it was good. Put Karli on the North Bay Haven story. We need details. Yeah, trust me, we're gonna be working on it. Trust me. Keep following us on News 13. We got a lot more coming from that one. We're going to look at next week's games, and then we're going to tell you guys goodnight. We're already going a little long. Start off with this first list and those matchups, and then I'll take the next one.
Gosh, give me the long, weird name. Sorry. Weewa-Hitchka versus Cottondale, and Holmes County versus Chipley.
Big rivalry.
Okay. Mariana versus Rutherford, and Port St. Joe versus Bozeman. Ooh, okay.
Trust me, you didn't say, you said Rutherford wrong because it's spelled wrong. We're going to give Spencer that one there. So, Rutherford.
Rutherford?
Yes.
Rutherford.
South Walton at Walton. That's a big rivalry as well in Walton County. St. Francis Catholic, never heard of them. They're going to North Bay Haven next week for homecoming. Liberty County at Sneeds, and Bluntstown at W.S. Neal. They scored a lot of points on a very good Mariana team tonight, so that one could be interesting. Take this list here.
All right, Arnold. Oh my goodness.
I'm just Choctawhatchee.
Choctawhatchee.
Choctaw. They're Choctaw.
Choctaw. Okay. Arnold versus Choctaw, and then Mosley versus Milton, Bay versus Pensacola, and Freeport versus Pensacola Catholic.
That Arnold game is a Thursday, by the way. Acilla Christian versus Franklin County. Again, Coach Cooper and the guys looking to start 6-0. If I told you right now Franklin County is looking to start the season 6-0, there's probably not very many people outside of the Franklin County locker room that would be like, yeah, I see that happening. So once again, I've said it over and over and over again tonight, but congratulations to the Franklin County Seahawks. And that is also without one of their best players, Sadiq Jones. Broke his collarbone a couple weeks ago. He is out for the season. We're going to have to see him back next year, or in baseball or basketball, because he does everything over there in East Point. Vernon Yellow Jackets, they are on a bye. So once again, like we said, Karli, new to the area. She's learning these teams. I totally on purpose gave her Weewa-Hitchka and Choctawhatchee. We'll continue to learn those. But again, after one night, how are we feeling? How are we feeling?
I'm very impressed with the amount of dual sport, tri-sport athletes in this area. It's awesome, honestly. So
we're going to definitely just be continuing to dive in and learn. In a couple of weeks, she's going to be throwing these crazy stats. And once again, I told you guys last week, for whoever was here, there's one person on the Friday Night Fever that has anchored the Friday Night Fever Afterburn show. One person in the history of the show that has played high school football. It's not me. It's Karli. She was place kicker at high. She's like, "Oh, you're putting me on the."
I just knew right where this was going as soon as you started that. So
again, she has more on-field expertise than I ever will. So she might not know the area like I do, but she does know football. So we're going to continue to learn the area more and more, and continue to move on with the season. Next week is week 6. I appreciate all of the viewers. It's been fun to this point. We're near the half point of the season. That's just crazy to say, but that is going to do it for week 5. If you want to watch all the highlights, they'll be posted on mypanhandle.com. Until next week, y'all have a good one.